You're not gonna like what I'm looking at. Is this a good idea? Is it even worth getting into this? Should I just throw it all away? It's in pieces right now. I could go put it in the dumpster right now. That doesn't sound like me though. This is what we're working with right now. Holy cow, it's just a skeleton. I don't know what to say. Not only do I not know what to say, I don't know what to do exactly. So that's about how bad the frame damage is. Newsflash, it was bad. Very bad. So bad to a point where it actually kinked the frame all the way over here on the opposite side. But it's slightly kinked right there. Like, what would be the purpose in keeping the whole frame rail? This cab is still good, God bless. My doors are still good, God bless. So the main goal is actually just gonna be to get this frame built with the S13 front end and get a cab put on and then get fucking driving. I was thinking about it a little in the shower yesterday. I know, a little personal there, but I just want to drive this thing as soon as possible. I don't care if it's perfect. Once again, this is what happens when I'm left alone. I bought this blade specifically for this too.
I'm gonna go where the...
Oh, nice. Oh, oops. I did it again. This is my Nissan 240SX. I don't know the year. Yeah, I don't know the year. There's like no information. There's not much information on this thing. I rode out to North Carolina to go pick it up. You and you are gonna be making a baby. It'll be much simpler to swap over this kind of suspension versus any other type of car. This is McPherson strut. McPherson strut basically means it has a lower control arm, and then the top of the coilover is basically the top of it. So you only have to make, you know, one mounting point, and that mounting point is taken care of by the subframe. So technically, the only mounting point you have to make is the subframe and this. I wanted to go with something really simple and something that has a huge aftermarket support. So like all of those arms, if you wreck all of those arms, you'll be able to find them easy on eBay, everywhere, and they're cheap. Not to mention, this Nissan is 5-lug, and the 5-lug Nissan swap is, you know, the same as the 350Z, same as the Tacoma. So basically all of these cars, I don't have to buy new wheels or different wheels for each car. They can all share the same wheels, which is awesome. For the front end, I'm actually going to be doing a 1997 4Runner front end because like you can find all of these pieces at the junkyard super cheap. With the Tacomas, I found out it's actually really hard to get fenders and body pieces for them because they're, you know, so desired. So I went with the 4Runner because you can find them everywhere, and I don't think it looks half bad. I think it's going to look really dope when it's done. Here's the rest of the truck right here. It's basically cut. I left these cab mounts so I know where my cab needs to sit. But yeah, so basically I'm going to do everything I did back there, but up front with the Nissan 240SX suspension. Position the truck body somewhere on here. Figure out how to body drop it because I want this thing to be stupid low. I want it to be way lower than it was. And unbolt all of this bullshit and try and see where it fits in there. But it's got adjustable arms, some, you know, some Bobo coilovers and some other parts, so that's cool. But what I was mostly after was all these brakes, the 5-lug, the suspension. Ugh, fucking mosquitoes, dog. So we basically got the cab suspended in the air on a chain hoist because we're probably gonna lift it up and drop it down a couple times before it finally sits there. I'm gonna get it like ride height level with here's a nice little invention I made. It's just a scissor jack with a ratchet on it. It'll help you get a precision measurement when you're trying to line up. I'm just basically gonna be cutting it right there, getting rid of all the brown poo-poo, And I'm gonna be building it up with this square tube. So I went with the square instead of more rectangle because what I'm hoping to do is drop the body down on this at least 2.5 inches, and I pulled the measurements from top to bottom right here. So now my truck cab is gonna be sitting flush with the ground versus the cab sitting on top of a frame. It's no longer a truck now, it's a car. So technically we're dropping the body down, which is awesome. It's what I wanted to look for, and I wanted to do it the easiest way possible without having to cut the floor pans out of this. But yeah, and here's the donor car as it sits. I'm gonna be taking everything out of the front. I'm gonna be squaring it up with the back. We're just gonna get a tram gauge. We're gonna get it all squared, get it all leveled up right here, and then we're gonna get it bolted to this frame that we're building as soon as possible. Let's do some surgery on the 240. Okay, so now that that is removed, now on to the measuring part. Oh yeah, that came out really nice. That is my S13 jig that I'm gonna be using for building the chassis on the drift truck. I actually got this whole entire idea, or basically how to, is there's this guy on YouTube, his name's Jinjin. He's out on YouTube and he's got an entire tutorial on how to build your own drift truck. He's got 4-link coilovers, S13 front end swap, and all that stuff. So if he didn't pioneer the way and show me how to do this, then I probably would have done it some other silly way. Yeah, so shout out to Jinjin for figuring this out for us drift truck guys who just want to have good handling cars. So basically I'm going to take this whole jig and I'm going to weld it somewhere on the frame that's level and similar to the S13 frame. And then I'm going to build everything off of it, the coilover top hats, the tension arms, the subframe mounts, going to build all that stuff. This is how the drift truck is going to be sitting. I just kind of lowered the bed there just to see how it would look. I cut a little bit from underneath it so the frame tuck under it, but wow, what can I say? I mean, it looks fantastic. A 2.5-inch body drop on a Tacoma, it looks fantastic, and I know it's gonna be good. Oh yeah, that's nice and low. So that's about how much lower the body is sitting, versus the stock frame, which I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna smooth all this stuff out and reinforce it, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. But I just kind of wanted to sit this down on top and see how low it's gonna be sitting, and oh my god, I'm so excited. It is so freaking low, and that's with the coilover, that's with everything on neutral. Like, my coilovers aren't even lowered. This is just currently how the car sits, so that is awesome. And let's have a look underneath. And the frame is virtually invisible, or it's gonna be. Oh wow. Yeah, no, this is gonna be sick. Yeah, the frame is tucked under there nicely. It fits like a glove. And this is starting to look like a car and less like a truck. I can tell for sure that I'm gonna have to do something about this trans tunnel. Hopefully nothing else. And yep, and so there's where the frame is. I got it all shimmed up right there, and that's where the frame's coming out. So basically I'm gonna build upwards so that I can mount the S13 subframe in. Should be able to do that soon. I just need to pick up some more square tube so I can continue this frame. You know, I'm probably gonna narrow it some, just a little bit. I'll probably stop the frame about right there, and then, you know, building forward is all gonna be tube, and it's all gonna be tube chassis. So this is gonna be sick. So yeah, now that I have a path to move forward, now it's just a matter of doing it. I think that's about it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.